All right. Let's see. All right, so as I sit here and try to get this set up for the 20th time, no joke. Like, yeah, for those that were trying to hop on earlier, I've been trying to do this literally like 5 times. Trying to do it on my camera, trying to do it on my Osmo Pocket, trying to do it on anything aside from the front-facing camera on my iPhone. But for whatever reason, third-party software and what I'm trying to do, it's just not linking up together. So yeah, so here we are, trying for the 5th time, literally. So we'll give it a minute. We'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. Let's see. All right, so if you guys can hear me, hey, I'm just trying to get this set up for like the 5th time because the first 4 times didn't work at all. So yeah, it's been a pain in the ass. All right, let's see. All right, hey, so we're back, or I'm here because obviously tried doing this. I tried to use my real camera, which was great. The idea was great. Actually, I'll show you. Oh man, see now, okay, now people are on. So wait, nope, wrong one. Let me try and turn this around. All right. Yeah, so right over there is my actual camera that I was trying to use to get this to work. And I was using a third-party software, which looked great in theory, did not work at all. People said it kept dropping out and it wasn't working. And then I was trying to use my Osmo Pocket 3, right? This pocket camera thing's awesome. This is a great tool. It really is. And there's a webcam function to where I can use this, which is better than the back camera of an iPhone to record or at least live stream through, which I was like, oh, that's great. And I tried doing it. It said it was working, but for whatever reason, it wasn't actually working. So did you guys see um, the Osmo Pocket, like the live stream that I tried doing a few minutes ago with a better camera? Was that working or not? Because I don't know if it's the hotel Wi-Fi in here, or I don't know if it's something else, but it wasn't telling me that the stream was working. Because I use my iPad, right? I use this to see like the chat and to watch things, and yeah, it wasn't working. So I'm not sure if you guys saw that or not. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. By the way, how's the audio? I got a mic hookup this time, and that's probably gonna die in a few minutes. But in the meantime, hopefully the audio sounds a little bit more crisp than it has in the past. All right, we got some. Let's see. Oh man, gotta love when there's trolls in the comment section. Love it. Yeah. Hey, you know what's really cool about being the person on the live running the channel is that I can just go in the chat activity and I can just do get out of here, booted, see ya. So yeah, all right, see ya, goodbye. Stop wasting my time. Okay, so let's hop into it. Let's see. Please talk about how overweight the Navy is. Look, man, I'll be honest. I don't like to talk bad about the other branches. For real, I don't like to because we're all one team, one fight. We fight better, right? The Marine Corps is better. We are the best, right? Yeah, I got to be subjective, right? Um, but I don't want to sit there and like talk bad about other branches because they already do that enough, right? About with the Marine Corps, and I don't want to. I'm not going to sit there and like enable uh, like the BS between the branches. So yeah, does the Navy have more lax standards than the Marines? Yeah. Do they allow people to be out at height and weight standards? Yeah. Do they care? No. And that kind of is where it is. Where's the glasses at? Oh, you mean the metas? Yeah. So I got these metas right here, man. These things are slick. The little ones got a little camera in the front, which is nice. I usually do this for like POVs. You know, these are the transition ones too. They're real nice. I like them a lot. And I bought them because I wanted to do more like behind the scenes stuff when I do like my video editing or I do, photography and whatnot. And I found myself wearing them, but I found myself wearing them like less and less because before I had the DJI, the Osmo Action 2 or 3, like the small like GoPro style camera, and had a screen on it. I would just wear it like on a necklace so I could get some like behind the scenes footage when I was doing something, which was really cool. But I realized, sorry, excuse me, I realized that it was kind of a pain to like do that, have to take it off, download the footage, edit it, and kind of, it was kind of a pain. And my coworkers were like, "Hey, you should get these glasses. I'm surprised you don't have them." And ended up buying them, and I'll wear them mostly as sunglasses. 'Cause I have the same ones that are legit sunglasses. But yeah, I found myself wearing them, less and less, instead of as much as I thought I would. So it worked, but it didn't really work out like I thought. So how old am I? I'm 35 years old. 35 years old, man. So, yo, you're actually not a scumbag for a recruiter. Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, man. My original recruiter was a scumbag. That dude he sucked. I am a Sergeant Furman once upon a time. And I told myself, I'm like, if I ever become a recruiter, I know what wrong looks like. I know what like a bad scumbag recruiter looks like. And I'm like, I'll never do that. I'm always gonna keep it honest, keep it real, and help people. So I'm like, anything I say, hey, you don't believe me? That's cool, man. Hey, go fact check me. Go on Google, right? Grab your phone and look it up. So I try to keep it real because we need more real talk and like, hey man, like real shit when it comes to people trying to join the military. I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear and what's gonna either help you or it's just gonna tell you, hey man, this just isn't for you. So, and too many recruiters they BS. Too many recruiters they kind of like make the lines murky, and it's like just be honest with these people. Be honest, man. I'll tell you how it is. And if you don't like what I have to say, then that's on you. It is what it is, man. It's no hate. So give you a Mr. Stark overlay. I don't know what that means. Yeah, so earlier, if you guys were on my live stream earlier, I was trying to use like a third party app on my iPad because I don't use a computer. I use an iPad. Actually, right here, my iPad. I use this. This is my computer. This, and then the Apple keyboard, right? The Magic Keyboard. This is my laptop. This is my editing. This is my everything right here. I don't use a computer or anything else because I just like the convenience. And I use a little Apple Pencil too. And trying to find apps that work with iOS and work with like external equipment, it's kind of difficult, even though the new one just came out. So I was trying to do it earlier. I had some overlays and some stuff I was trying to do. So when I go live, there's overlays and a little bit more. Well, there's something actually, because right now it's just a video, but it wasn't working out too well. So oh well. During that parade that just passed, were they doing a silent protest during the parade? So you mean like if you're talking about the military parade that happened last weekend? There were protesters that were outside of the White House before it actually started because I was walking by and I actually ran into them, but they weren't silent. They were actually like actively out in front of the White House, in front of the gates, actively protesting. So yeah, it was definitely seeing it on on Instagram or social media or whatnot. That's one thing, but seeing it in person, I was like, oh damn, like this is not a place you want to be. It's wild, and the people there are just yeah, they're up to no good. Most of them, not everybody, but they're there looking for trouble from what I observed, right? Obviously, not everything is as it seems, but what I noticed was I was like, yeah, this is kind of wild, especially out front of the White House, where it's probably the most secure place on earth last week, and there was FBI, Secret Service, DHS, Metro Police, military, right? Everybody. So I'm like, definitely not the place that you want to get wild in front of the White House. So how much were those? So the glasses, I think I picked these up for I got them on sale for like $300. Um, Probably 4 or 5 months ago. And I think now they're around $300 or they're a little under. But you probably find them used on Facebook Marketplace, offer up whatnot for probably around $200. I recommend them. I think they're really cool. It's definitely a cool tool in my opinion. If you want to record some first person videos or just have your perspective whatever you're doing or take pictures, it's pretty cool. They also take you can take phone calls on them, you can listen to music. It's actually a really nice thing, and I got the transition so I can wear them inside, and because if I'm wearing sunglasses inside it's kind of weird. um, but when they transition outside, they don't get as dark as traditional sunglasses, which can be annoying sometimes. It's a little bit of an adjustment, but to be honest, it's good enough. So, do Marines have counter intel agents? Yeah, there's an entire MOS. It's called O231 counterintelligence. Now, you can't initially enlist into it. You have to do a lat move into that job. I think when you're a sergeant, you think it'd be an E5, if I'm not mistaken. But you can actually switch into that job after your first enlistment if you pass the standards, the qualifications, and the screening test. That's something you can actually lat move into. And I have a few of my friends that have done that, that have had success, and they've had some interesting experiences doing that. But it's definitely something that's possible, and it's definitely something that the Marine Corps has. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Wait, so quick question. If for some crazy reason, like a Navy guy needed to operate a tank from the Army in a dire situation, can he or will he get in a lot of trouble? Well, okay, let's just think of like worst case scenario, break glass, case of emergency, like something like that. First of all, I doubt that any sailor or Marine for that matter, anyone that's not a tank driver would even know how to operate it because it's a pretty complicated, like there's switches and buttons and things that the average person isn't going to know. If they knew how to, right, and it was like emergency, would they get in trouble? No. Well, most likely not. I don't know. I'm not. That's kind of one of those like hypotheticals. If you're gonna ask a hypothetical question, I'll give you a hypothetical answer. No, they'd probably be able to do that and be totally fine. But in reality, no, man, that's a 0% no go. What are the drawbacks of the glasses? The battery life, it's okay. It won't last you a full day. If you record a lot of videos, you're gonna drain the battery really quick. And then sometimes I don't know if it's the internals on them, right? Because you got to think you have electronics and right here, and there's speakers like built into the glasses. So sometimes I'll get headaches that I typically. All right. So can you hear me now? There we go. Wait, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up real quick. Can you hear me? All right. Yeah. So my microphone died. Hold on. Let me plug this in real quick. Ah, shame. I bet the audio sounds bad now, doesn't it? Hold on, let me plug this in real quick. Hold on 1 second. Shame. All right. Okay. Yeah, so audio probably doesn't sound as good, but whatever. Anyways, what I was saying is, like, for the glasses, they're cool, but sometimes I get a headache from all the electronics being right here on my temples. So it gives me a headache sometimes. That's kind of annoying. But aside from that, and the glasses not transitioning fully to dark when I'm outside, other than that, I like them. They're pretty good. It's worth the money in my opinion, because I like to shoot videos. If you don't like to shoot videos, maybe not. But for someone that does, I think it's good. I think it's a good tool. You're gonna enjoy. Hello from Ukraine. Oh damn, we got someone from Ukraine. How's everything in Ukraine right now? I know that's, probably not the best question, but damn, how are things going over there right now? So, let's see. Branch, base, camp. I'm in the Marines, and I'm stationed in San Diego. Damn, we got a bunch of trolls in here, man. This is wild. Oh my God. Are the Marines full like the Air Force, or they have most jobs open? So when it comes to jobs in the Marines, the jobs open at the beginning of the fiscal year. So that's October 1st, and they close at the end of the fiscal year, which is September 30th. So if you want a specific job like aviation, crash fire rescue, which are like military firefighters, and like specific like high demand jobs, if you don't enlist early on in the year, from October to like maybe December, January, a lot of those jobs are going to be gone by the time the end of the year comes around right now, such as summer, because all the guys who enlisted early, they get first priority at those jobs, and people don't realize that. I know other branches, like let's say for the Army, from what I hear, right, this is just like speculation, but if 500 people wanted the same job in the Army has allegedly infinite jobs. So you all want to be tankers, right? Well, okay, hey, everyone can go on a tank contract, which is crazy because I can't imagine there's that many open spots in the fleet. But that's how they pitch it to a lot of people who are interested in joining. Whereas the Marines say, hey, I have 5 infantry jobs left. And when they're gone, they're gone. It's literally first come, first serve. Now, the jobs, they do fluctuate throughout the year, but that's how jobs work in the Marine Corps. When they're gone, they're gone. There might be a chance, during the year where in RS, which is wherever we're getting recruited out of, they might get more jobs because they need to ship more people to boot camp. And if that happens, they might get more jobs, but it's not a guarantee of what jobs are going to happen. Like, hey, we need you to ship 10 more people to boot camp. Here's 10 more random jobs. And it might be what you want. It might not be what you want. So, it just depends. But I've never heard of a branch such as the Air Force saying, like, we're full. Like, the Marine Corps is never full. Like, oh, sorry, man, we're full, can't take you anymore. Like, it doesn't work like that. But the job you want might not be available in the time in which you come to talk to a recruiter, which means you might have to wait until the next fiscal year to be able to get a job and go to boot camp, or you pick another job that you might not want, but you're still okay with. Can you switch from the Marines to the Army? Yeah. So at the end of your contract, you can definitely switch branches. There is such a thing called as an inter-service transfer, but I've never seen a first-term Marine, which is someone in their first enlistment, do that. But it is possible. But if I were you, I would just EAS, right? Whenever your EAS is, go talk to an Army recruiter and then go enlist in the Army. And if you're in the reserves, then you have to get released from the reserves to get picked up by the Army. So, but yeah, you can, but you have to get off contract first. You can't be like 2 years in the Marine Corps and be like, I don't like this, I want to go Army. Sorry, man, you're on a contract, you're obligated. Sorry. And I see that all the time with people in the Army. They're like, hey man, I really want to be a Marine, but I still have 3 more years in the Army. And I'm like, well, in 3 years, man, give me a call and we'll bring you over to the Marine Corps. But between now and then, you're stuck doing whatever it is you're doing. So, we'll see you when we see you. Let's see. I'm trying to go Army soft. Yeah, so a lot of people, man, they want to go special operations. They want to do a lot of things. And what I'll tell people is, Can you do it? You know, in other branches, yeah. But here's the thing, and people don't really think about this. If you're an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, right? And you want to go join special operations, which is the tip of the spear, the best of the best, like the most elite people in that branch. What makes you feel that you are qualified or experienced enough as someone who is 18, 19, 20 years old compared to someone who's been in the Army for 10 years with 10 years experience and yada, yada, yada. I tell the guys, like, the other branches are going to tell you, yeah, man, you can go do Special Forces, Green Berets, SOF, whatever, Navy SEALs. How many 18-year-old Navy SEALs are there in the Navy? I have never seen a single one. Those guys are like in their late 20s, early 30s, and they've been in the Navy for like 10, 12, 15 years, right? They're not guys who've been in the Navy for 6 months and whatnot. They're like experienced dudes who are going into that program. You know, you're not going to see some guy straight out of high school doing that. You can try, like, hey, we'll send you to the school. Go to the school, right? Try, but you're not going to make it. And that's not, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's just a reality check that a lot of people don't understand. So I'm the guy who's going to tell you how it's real, man. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you, you know, what you need to hear, just to make sure that you're taken care of at the end of the day. So what do you think about the Israel-Iran war? I think it's wild. I think it's crazy that that's actually going on right now. And hopefully things kind of die off a little bit. But I don't know, man. It looks like, you know, the U.S. might get involved. And, you know, because the U.S. is going to protect Israel, you know, that Israel is an ally to the U.S. So I don't know. We'll see. But definitely some interesting times we're in right now for sure. Do re-enlistments require an ASVAB? No. So if you enlist in any branch, you do the ASVAB one time, that ASVAB score is valid forever, right? Now, if you try to switch jobs and go somewhere else, right, or move to another job, if that job requires a higher ASVAB score, then you have to retake it. But if it doesn't, then you're totally fine. You keep that same ASVAB score forever, as long as you stay in the same job, or you switch to a job that doesn't require you to retake the ASVAB, and you're totally good. So, let's see. Mike, okay, I'm trying to catch up to these comments. Let's see. What branch are you in? I'm in the Marines. I am a Marine, and I'm a gunnery sergeant, and I was a communications Marine, but now I am a career recruiter, which is an 8412, which means I'm going to be on recruiting duty until I retire out of the Marine Corps, whenever that may be. So, yeah. My waiver was denied because I didn't send in documents for what I was disqualified for because my recruiter didn't show me the disqualification letter to tell me I needed it. So yeah, so if you were disqualified from MEPS, which happens every single day, your recruiter should say, hey, you were disqualified for this. Here's the thing, the recruiters aren't going to know what documents you need up front, and I think it's a very flawed program because you could go and get disqualified for your eyes, right? Let's say astigmatism, okay, but it doesn't say exactly what you need to get cleared. So at that point, you're kind of gambling, like, hey, okay, my eyes are bad, what should I do? Well, I should probably get an eye exam. Tell the doctor, hey, I got disqualified for astigmatism for the military. Give me an eye exam that says my astigmatism is good, or it's not going to affect me being in the military. And typically with that, you'll submit it, and it's either going to get approved or it's going to get remediated. Now, if it's approved, like, hey, you're good, you can enlist now, no issues. If it gets remediated, it means, hey, I see what you sent me, thanks, but now I need X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, why don't you just tell me what you need up front so I can give it to you in one go around? But for whatever reason, the waiver process is a pain in the ass. So, but you need to submit the documents and let them tell you if it's good or not. And if it's not good, they'll tell you exactly what to send the second time around. And then once you send that, there's like a 90% chance they're going to say you're good. Small percentage, right? They're not going to approve it. But in my, time dealing with waivers and stuff, the second time around, you should be fine unless it's something crazy. So, why aren't you out hitting on women? Because I'm married and I have a family. That's why. Go bald. So believe it or not, man, I used to shave my head willingly when I was on my first enlist. When I went to Afghanistan, I'm sorry, when I came back from Afghanistan in like 2010, I got a haircut, and the barber jacked it up. Like, this guy fucked it up. And after that, I was like, just cut it off. I was like, it looks so bad, cut it off. So he gave me a buzz cut all the way down. I looked like a recruiter again. And I was like, you know what? I was like, just cut it off, bick it, right? Bick it's when you put shaving cream, you shave it with a razor. I was like, bick it. He goes, are you sure? And I was like, bro, you already messed it up. I'm gonna start fresh over. Cut it all off. I had the nastiest tan line, right? So when you wear covers outside, you get a nice tan line like right here. And so I was like nice and tan, and my whole head was white. I mean, like white. I looked like, I don't know what those candies are, but like when the bottom's a certain color, the top's white. I don't know. And yeah. And then I was like, this sucks. And then after a while, I ended up liking it. And I actually kept it for willingly. I kept it for like 6-8 months. And I was like, okay, I miss having hair. And I started, growing my hair back. My head got cold. And when your hair starts to grow back after it's shaved, everything gets stuck on it. Like you take your shirt off, it gets caught. You put on a sweatshirt, like the lint gets stuck in your head. Yeah, I shaved it. Then I was like, yeah, this is cool, but I miss hair. And then I've never shaved it again because I like having hair. And I actually have hair. I actually have a good hairline, and I'm like, why am I gonna willingly shave this off? Like, if I ever lose my hair, then sure. But between now and then, I'm gonna keep it. So let's see. Wait. Oh, pop it. There we go. Hold on. Now I can pop out the chat. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. What watch am I wearing? This is an Apple Watch Ultra. It's just the first gen with a metal band. Nothing fancy, just an everyday watch. My son's an MP in the Marines. At first they said it wasn't available. Then went to the Navy recruiter. Yes, there was some available. 1 week later, my recruiter offered him $10K for MP. So if the recruiter is telling you that a job's not available, then the job is not available, right? There's no, a Marine recruiter is not going to have a qualified applicant who wants a job and that job be available and not give it to him. It makes no sense for the recruiter, the institution, or the applicant. If you qualify for MP, I have MP, you want MP, you're going to get MP. Now, if you want it, qualify for it, I don't have it, hey man, I don't have it, man, I'm sorry, it kind of is what it is. So a lot of times when they tell you they don't have it, it's because they really don't. Now, does that mean that they can't get it technically? No, but that involves people having to do like trades and like deals and stuff that don't always pan out. So for instance, like another RS in a different region could have it and they might not be using it. And they're like, hey, maybe I could trade this for that, but it's not a guarantee. And a lot of people, they get upset when they hear that. And I'm like, hey man, that's just how it is. Like if I have the job and I can give it to you, you'll get the job, period. But if I don't have the job and I can't give it to you, man, okay, cool, man, what else do you want? Give me 3 options and I can help you out with that. But don't just give me like a one and done thing, because if I don't have it, you don't want to be a Marine? Okay, well, if you don't want to be a Marine, man, that's fine. We'll see you later. And unfortunately, that does happen sometimes. But if not, I tell people like, hey, if you want to wait till next fiscal year, October, you can wait. And if not, then I need you to pick something else. But I always tell people, I'm like, hey, give me a top 3, give your recruiter a top 3, and they can work with that. I'm sure they can find, one of your top 3. In rare cases, maybe not, but by that point, the applicant really wants to be a Marine, and we'll find something that works for them at the end of the day. So, but yeah, if he came back, so I'm gonna give you $10,000, maybe he found it and he wanted to be a Marine, hey, I'll give you an incentive bonus and the job if you come back. So yeah, sometimes it works like that. Every office is different, every place is different, and they do things a little bit differently. So maybe he found one, your son wanted it and gave it to him. So I don't know, but at least it worked out in the end of the day. So how do you get recruited? You either go talk to a recruiter, or a recruiter approaches you, they pitch the military to you, and you either like it and you go through the process, or you don't and you don't. I mean, or you get a phone call, to a cold call, which is great. I hate doing cold calls. So let's see, do you think for civilians considering the Marines with a degree, they should go enlisted before officer or contact a recruiter officer? So, I mean, I know plenty of people in the Marines that before they enlisted, they had college degrees that didn't want to go officer. It really depends. Like there's no right or wrong answer. It depends on the type of lifestyle that you want. Like, what kind of lifestyle do you want out of the Marine Corps? Do you want a more of like an office style job, you know, that you're working at a desk and you're in charge of like personnel and equipment? Or do you want to be physically doing the job, you know, day in and day out? So like, for example, like my old MOS, right? Communications. I was the one physically setting up the stuff. I was the one physically operating the equipment. I was the one physically doing like the job. My platoon commander, who was a lieutenant, he was never out there doing the job. He was never out there setting up the equipment. He was never out there learning the actual MOS specifically. He was in the office in charge of all the personnel, which is all the Marines, all the equipment, and like more top down, you know, tasks and skills. Some people like that, and if that's what you're looking for, go that route. But a lot of people, they want to actually do the thing. And if you want to get your hands on it and actually do it, I recommend going enlisted. And then from there, if you want to switch over and you have a degree, you can do the ECP program, which is the Enlisted Commissioning Education Program, and commission as a lieutenant and continue. And if you end up liking the Marines, you know, or the enlisted side, you can just stay that route and maintain that the entire time. But just because you have a degree doesn't mean you have to go enlist or officer, but you have to have a degree to go officer. So, but it just depends on the lifestyle, man. It really does. I met dudes with masters who were like, I do not want to be an officer at all. I just want to be an enlisted guy, get experience and get skills. And I'm like, cool. And I met guys with a degree who are like, hey, I just want to be an officer. I'm like, cool, go talk to the officer selection officer. They'll point you in the right direction, they'll get you set up, and go from there. But just understand that the physical skills and the physical requirements to be an officer are a lot higher than those of the enlisted. So just so you know. Do you think they're gonna send boots to this war? No idea. Things are still kind of panning out right now, so I have no idea. I don't know. I can't even answer. I really have no idea. Recruiting, nah, you're gonna be deployed soon. Nah, man. So recruiters, anyone on an SDA, which is a special duty assignment, recruiting, drill instructor, combat instructor, MSG duty, security forces, they're non-deployable. A war could break out tomorrow. They could send troops overseas, you know, wherever in the world. Recruiters aren't going anywhere. Recruiters do not deploy. Drill instructors don't deploy. Anyone else on an SDA, they don't deploy. And then fun fact, there are Marines and there are certain units in the Marine Corps that are non-deployable. So you can be in a unit that just does not deploy, and even if there's a war going on, you're not going to deploy and, you know, go there unless you get augmented and you join a unit that is deploying, and then you deploy with them. But you can be in a unit that just does not deploy. They're called non-deployable units, and it happens all the time. I work with 4 Marines right now who've been in the Marine Corps more than 6-7 years that have never deployed. So, and some of these guys are even in combat MOSs, like infantry, artillery, they've never deployed. And there's guys who are at, you know, in, you know, non-infantry jobs that have deployed either. So it's just the luck of the draw. Let's see. Wait, hold on. Hold on. This dude just said, is pre-calculus required for the Marines? Bro, if that was the case for the military, there would be like 8 Marines. Are you kidding me? No. You just got to pass the ASVAB to be a Marine. So, Dodgers or Padres? I'm a Dodger. I like Dodgers. Dodgers over Padres. Eesh. If you're yeah, I'm a Dodgers fan. Before Ohtani too, by the way. Just so we're clear. What do you have to study for the ASVAB? What topics do you need to focus on? Focus on the first 5 sections, okay? The first 5 sections: math, reading, arithmetic, reasoning, science, and your word knowledge. Those 5 sections are going to boost your AFQT, which is your overall score. Don't worry about the last 5 sections, the assembling objects, the electrical, and that nonsense. Don't worry about that, because if you score really well in those areas, but you have a low overall score, you cannot enlist, okay? So there's a difference. So if you want, I have free books, free study material, free stuff on my Discord channel. It might be, if you go to my YouTube page, let me see if I can actually just show you, right? Some of us are visual learners, I get it, right? Go on YouTube, this is my page right here. At the top, you'll see links. It'll have my Instagram, it'll say 4 more links. Click that, go down, scroll down till you see the Discord. At the bottom, click Discord. Oh, wait, hold on. Click the Discord. This is gonna pop up welcoming you to the landing zone. That's what I named it. hit accept the invite. Here we go. Hey, some people are visual learners. Let's just walk through this together, okay? Hopefully you can see this. This is what it looks like. On the side right here, there's a bunch of different tabs, bunch of different things. Starting line, suggestions, you got general chat. Hold on, hopefully you guys can see this. And if you go all the way down at the bottom, you're gonna see ASVAB form, you're gonna see waivers, etc. If you go down here and you click on ASVAB form, you're gonna see ASVAB assistance, ASVAB study tips and tricks. Click on that, and there's free study guides that are in there, right? I uploaded some PDFs. You can use that, and it's gonna get you, where you need to be. So let me see, hold on. Damn, my hands are big enough to palm an iPad. Damn. Let's see, where's it at? Yep, so you click on ASVAB study tips and tricks for success. The first 2 links, click on that, and it's gonna give you a PDF, and there's some other stuff in there too. So there's ASVAB for Dummies, ASVAB Prep Guide, a couple of different resources, and it's free, right? So if you don't wanna buy the book or whatnot, I already did it for you. I already gave it there for you too. So one less thing you have to worry about or pay for. You just download it, put your phone in airplane mode, limit distractions, and then just go do the work, okay? And if you do that, you'll be just fine. So let me see if I can pull this chat back up. By the way, off topic, but iOS 26, like the beta version, sucks. This sucks. I hate how these windows are organized now and how this works. It's just a pain in the ass. So it's just a little small rant, but yeah. So yeah, go to the Discord, check it out, and take the stuff for free, use it, study it, and you'll be fine. So what's the age limit? So age limit is technically 28, but you can have a waiver, and I've seen waivers get approved up to like 33 years old that I've personally seen. So, I mean, technically by Congress says it's 35, and then a new rule came out that says it's technically 41, but I've said this before, the Marine Corps is not enlisting anyone who's 41 years old. I don't care how strong you are, how big you are, how fast you are, it ain't happening ever. 35 is gonna be like the max, but between 28 and 34 is what I've seen. So as long as you're physically fit, you meet the criteria and whatnot, you can enlist in the Marine Corps with an age waiver, and yeah. Were you 3-7? I was not, but I did deploy with them in 2014 though. I did. Am I a Hollywood actor? If I was a Hollywood actor right now, I would not be on YouTube Live. Straight up. So, wish I was, but I'm not. Let's see. Is infantry worth it? I mean, if you want a hard life, man, yeah. Infantry, it's difficult. It's a hard life that you're willingly choosing. Is it bad? No, man. It's tough, man. It's hard. Your body's gonna get physically destroyed. You're gonna be just doing a lot of hard stuff every day, all day for 5 years. Infantry's a 5-year contract. It used to be 4, now it's 5. So for 5 years, man, you're gonna be in non-ideal conditions. You're gonna be doing a lot of hard shit. And some people they're about that life. They're like, hey man, I want a hard, difficult life. I wanna be a hard ass, badass, whatever. Cool. Most people, it sounds good to them, right? They see Call of Duty, they play video games, they see a cool movie, and they're like, that looks awesome. Then they do it, and they're like, this shit sucks. I do not want to do this. And then they're stuck doing that. So it's not a matter of like, is it worth it? It's just a matter, because that's a subjective term. It's just a matter of, is it worth it to you? Is that a lifestyle that you want to live with and do for 5 years? And if you're about it, man, go for it. Jump 2 feet in, man, make it happen. But if you're kind of hesitant, you're not sure, consider other options too, because you could always lat move into that job at a later time. I mean, the same goes for lat moving out of it technically, but I'd rather be a Marine doing something different. And if I'm like, okay, this isn't satisfying what I'm looking for, hey, then, you're already a Marine, you're already doing the life, you already know what half the Marine Corps is like. Jump in, try out infantry, and, go from there. That's what I would say, but it's totally up to you. Let's see. I subscribe to your channel. I appreciate that. Thanks for the subscription. I actually dropped a goal here too. Hey, if you guys want to support too, I dropped a super chat goal in here. So if you guys want to support the channel, hey, feel free to leave some super chats in here to show your support for the channel so I can go get a pizza for dinner tonight. I did this the other day, and it didn't work out that well, but I figured I'd try it again. and see if we can get some pizza money. So feel free to leave a super chat and a comment, and help this guy get some pizza for dinner. Is this live considered part of your job? Are you on duty right now? No, I do this because I want to. This is just me coming on here talking in a non video format and answering questions, because a lot of people have questions and I can't always get to them. So I come on here to do lives because I want to. So definitely not part of my job, or definitely don't have to do this at all. I just choose to do this. Do MPs get deployed? Yeah, every MOS in the Marine Corps can get deployed, right? They're all able to deploy. Now, whether or not the unit you're at is going to deploy or not, that depends. But admin Marines deploy, supply Marines deploy, comm Marines deploy, intel Marines deploy, logistic Marines deploy, artillery Marines deploy. MPs, everybody deploys or has the option or ability to deploy. Whether or not the unit you're at is up to that unit. So, but yeah, you can definitely deploy regardless of your job. Can I pass if I only suck at the math part of the test? Yeah, technically you can pass, but you're probably gonna get a low AFQT. You'll probably have enough to pass, but you're probably not gonna have a high enough score to get access to a ton of jobs. So if you're willing to take that risk, hey, go for it. Good luck. What worked out for my son? He studied for the ASVAB his whole junior year with the book, and he graduated early and left for boot camp. Yeah, that's what I tell guys. Hey man, just study. Like just do the damn thing, And I tell people, I'm like, look, man, like I said, I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. If you're telling me that right now the only thing stopping you from being in the military is one test, that's it. All you do is read this book right here. You read this book, you understand this book, right? You'll be a Marine or a soldier, sailor, airman, whatever. All you gotta do is read this book. And if I don't like to read books, which some people don't, get on YouTube, download the electronic study guide, whatever the case is, right? And do that. Then I'll be able to join the military and get a career, get job stability, get job security, get health care, etc. Just the test is stopping me? Are you kidding me? Like, are you for real? You're telling me that people will not study to pass a test one time to change their life, but they'll get on Instagram, they'll get on their phones, they'll go bullshit, do anything else, right? Then study. I have free materials I've given people. Free stuff. Free. It doesn't cost you a dime. It just takes you some effort. It takes you some just actually effort to put the work in. And people still don't want to do it. Then they get upset, the military won't take me. Oh, I can't pass the ASVAB. Yeah, you can. You just don't give a damn. You just don't put enough work in. You don't study enough. You don't care enough. You don't care enough. This is too hard. Oh man, well, me sitting here reading something for the ASVAB, man, that sucks. Man, let me hop on my iPad. Let me get on TikTok real quick. Hold on. Yeah, let me just scroll endlessly real fast. Yep. Oh yeah, man, this scrolling is doing nothing for me, by the way. All I'm doing is this is like brain rot. I'm just learning nothing, retaining absolutely nothing for hours, right? Let's be honest. People go on their phones for hours, wasting time. And that's not doing anything for them. Not paying any bills, not getting anything done. But the second that something that can change your life, right? That can give you a leg up in life. I can't do it, man. It's too much, too hard. I'm like, are you for real? Are you for real? Priorities. Like people they don't have their priorities straight, and it shows very clearly most of the time. So, is there a waiver for the ASVAB? Not for the Marines. Other branches, they've reduced the ASVAB score. The Navy was taking a 10 at some points. I don't know if they're doing now. Army has like an ASVAB prep course. But yeah, I don't know what other branches are doing currently, but I know the Marine Corps is not waiving the ASVAB at all. 31 is the cutoff. You get a 30, you're disqualified. It is what it is. The Marine Corps is holding the standard when it comes to that. Can one be a vegetarian and be in the Marines? Yes. I know plenty of vegetarians, vegans, right, that are in the Marines. So yeah, it happens all the time. Pretty common. Yeah, you just have to pick and choose what you choose to eat. But it's definitely possible. I've known plenty of Marines that have done that. Right before I was about to enlist, I was told to straighten out my school info. I have my high school diploma and 28 credits from technical school, but they said I need an accreditation letter. Yeah, so depending on what high school you went to or what technical school, it has to be WASC accredited, WASC, right, for a high school, because I can make a high school tomorrow. I just make like Taylor's High School, and it's not accredited, and I can give you a diploma, but it's not a valid diploma, right? It's a diploma, but it's not valid. In the military, you must have a valid diploma from a WASC accredited high school, which means like you've met the minimum standards required for American education to be able to enlist. So if they're telling you that what you have isn't correct, go to your school, get an accreditation letter, or have them say something that explains the accreditation from that school's program, and you should be fine. So, any advice on loopholes against the Marines? Yeah, you want to hear some facts, some loopholes, some secret stuff that people probably aren't going to tell you? Study. Put the work in. Put the work in, man. There's no loopholes. There's no easy routes. There's no secrets, man. You got to just do the damn thing. Put the work in. Study. Take the ASVAB, right? That's what you can control. Now, medical, right? If you have some medical conditions that you can't control, that's a different story. But stuff you can control, right? This is my notional ASVAB book. That's on you, man. Put the work in. There's no secrets. There's no shortcuts. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. What pizza restaurant? Man, I don't know. I'm just trying to get some pizza, man. I'm trying to see what's around here in Virginia. I'm trying to get some local pizza because Cali pizza is okay, but I always try to get some local food for wherever I go and not eat at like chain restaurants and stuff. If I get it in California, I don't want to get it here because I want to try something that's unique to the area I'm in. So I'm going to try and find a local pizza joint, but there's no super chat likes, man. So probably ain't going to happen anyways. Damn, that's a shame. Yeah, I have one more week till a waiver gets approved, and I'll be swearing in sooner than expected. Congratulations, right? Hope it all works out for you when it comes to the waivers. So, yeah. 10 gorillas versus me, who would win? I don't know, man. I don't know. 10 gorillas. Well, the better question is, 10 gorillas versus me, how long would I survive for? Because 10 gorillas, man, versus anybody, shit, it's a done deal. The question is, who's gonna survive longer? That's probably a better question. Alex TV, there's no waiver for the ASVAB in the Marines. Zero waiver, zero. No waiver at all. You either got it or you don't, man. Let's see. Does the fleet get better once you go up in rank? Hell yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, so when I was like a junior Marine, I'll be honest, I was like, this kind of sucks. Because you're doing a lot of working parties, you're doing a lot of things that like, you probably just don't want to do. But the higher you get up in rank, it's not that the easier it gets, because like I have way more responsibility now than I did when I was a junior Marine, but I've been in long enough to like know how to balance it better, right? So is it that it gets easier? It gets easier because you know how to manage it better. But I'll be honest, man, there were days like go mop the floor, go mop the head, take the trash out. And people will complain. I'm like, that's it? I do that and I go home? Fucking easy, man. I'm out. Whereas my staff and COs and my sergeants, they're staying back later getting other stuff done. They're letting us go. Hey, man, it's a perception thing, right? Because when we're young and rank, we're like, oh, this sucks, it sucks, it sucks. I was the same way, right? Then the older I got, I was like, that's it. Like, they tell you what to do. You do it. And that's it. I'm like, what the fuck? This is easy, man. I'm getting paid for this. Are you serious? Man, life is good. Then I got older and I was like, I got to do so many things. I got to juggle 25 different things, take care of these Marines, take care of these personnel, take care of this equipment, take care of this, do this brief, do that brief, do this. And it's like, damn, dude, I've got 15 different things I got to get done. And this Marine just needs to go mop the floor and take out the trash. We're like, wait, what? So, Elias, hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the super chat, dude. I appreciate that very much. Hell yeah. Let's see. And then Island Girl, get some pizza. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's awesome. I'm gonna get myself a nice pizza this evening. Thank you kindly. And I can't spell. There we go. Hell yeah. Just AI it. Yo. I was waiting for this. Do not AI the ASVAB. AI is a great tool. I love AI. I think it's great. It really is. Do not AI the ASVAB because you have to know it. You either know it or you don't. Okay, and you can't BS the ASVAB. It's a skill you either got or you don't got, because here's the thing, when you go to take the actual test, you know what you don't have with you? ChatGPT, Gronk, you know, OpenAI, you don't have any AI with you. And if you don't learn it, you're not going to remember it, because that same question that you memorized or you AI'd is not going to be the same question you see, and now you don't know how to do the work, and now you're just randomly guessing, and you're going to fail. How do I know? I've seen it too many times. I could tell exactly when someone's going to fail a test. I already know it before they even leave. And it's sad to say, right? But I can just tell from doing this for 5 years, I know every single time. And they come back and I'm like, what happened? Let me guess. You memorized the answers, you used AI, whatever. They're like, how'd you know? And I'm like, it's very easy to know once you know what to look for and you've been seeing it for a while. So, but yeah, don't do that. Trust me, from someone that does this for a living, don't do it, man. Don't put the work in just AI. Nah, man, don't do that. What do I remember about 9/11? All right, so fun fact, hey, I was in 6th grade in 9/11. I just got to middle school. I'll never forget, I was sitting in my first period class, and we were sitting there like doing attendance, and I'll never forget, all of a sudden, the classroom I was in, we started getting phone calls. And there was a front office, and kids just started to get up, they started leaving, like left and right. And it's like, the day just started, you know, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, you know, 8:15, somewhere around that time. Or, you know, between 8 and 9, right? And kids were leaving left and right, and I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? And then, like, all the teachers, they left their room, and they were in the hallways talking, and because they knew what we didn't. And time was going by, and it was like, well, what's going on? And my mom, you know, same thing, checked me out of school. And I went home, and I'll never forget being home, and we had like a big screen TV, like one of the big, like big screen TVs, and the World Trade Center, you know, photos, like the live feed was on at home, and I was asked my mom, I was like, hey, what's going on? And she goes, and she was crying, and she was like, you know, she wasn't really good at explaining it, but that's when I found out what happened, and I was like, oh wow. Like I didn't really, like, I knew what happened, but I didn't understand like the severity of like, or like what actually happened. And yeah, I just remember like everybody coming together, and like everyone was super helpful. Everyone was just like the patriotism in this country was like at an all-time high. And like I was young. I think I was, oh shit, how old was I? How old are you when you're in middle school? What is it, like 10, 12? What? Yeah, I think I was 14 with the high school. I think it was like 11, 12, something like that. But I didn't understand then. But after seeing it, I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. So yeah, that's what I remember about it. I remember going home, seeing people crying, watching it, and yeah. And what's crazy is not realizing then that I'd be joining the Marines 6 years later, and deploying overseas, and you know, being in Afghanistan. Like it was like a whole 180. It was crazy, but yeah, that's what I remember. So is that an Apple Watch? Yeah. So this is a that's a hard ass transition, but 9/11 Apple Watch, that's wild. Yeah, it's an Apple Watch Ultra. So it's just the first gen Apple Watch, like your normal one, and I just put a metal band on it because it looks better than the black, you know, normal one that comes with it. It makes it look a little bit nicer, so you can wear it and just not. It looks like an Apple Watch, but it looks a little bit better with the metal band, in my opinion. So, am I a motivational speaker? No, not at all. And if I'm not good, man, hey, you know what though? You're here watching it voluntarily, so you gotta love it. So appreciate it, John. You don't know, you don't like what I'm doing, but you still take the time out of your day or night to come in here, watch and comment. You love it. Gotta love it, man. How you gonna burn off that pizza? Psh, hey man, we got a whole gym here, and running's free. So yeah, I don't think I need to worry about burning off the pizza. I need to worry about getting 2 pizzas and actually bulking up, because yeah, I need to start eating a lot more. I used to be like 225, and I've lost about 15 pounds. So yeah, I need to start eating more for sure. What's the number one advice I'd give to a poolee? Man, show up, dude. Like, show up. Like, when you're a poolee, your job's to show up, participate, come to PT, and learn all you can, man. So that's my advice, because I've had, man, poolees left and right, and you know, sometimes they don't want to show up, and I'm like, you made a commitment, man. Show up, learn Marine Corps knowledge, get yourself physically fit, stay in shape, right? As you're a poolee, stay motivated, and then when it's time to go to boot camp, man, just say yes, sir, and let's roll, right? Because that's what you're trying to do, and that's what we're trying to do for you. So the more you can just fall in step and do what you're supposed to do, man, the easier the process is going to be, and the more better off you're going to be when you get to boot camp. Let's see. What are your thoughts on tunnel rats in Vietnam? Well, first of all, appreciate the $2, man. I'll be honest, man, I don't even know how to answer that question. Be more specific and I'll give you a better answer. So, E4 underground in the house, what's up, Devil Dog? You gotta love when you have a E4 who's like, yo, what's up, Devil Dog? That's wild, but it's good, man. It's good. What's going on in the, since obviously YouTube is, what is it? It's anonymous to a degree, right? What's going on in the E4 Mafia these days, or the E4 Underground? Because it's been a long time since I've been in the E4 Underground, and it's been a different era, we'll say. So what's going on these days, Turbo? You must be 33. I'm actually 35. I'm actually 35 years old, which, damn, it's crazy to think that, or to say that. Let's see. What's my MOS? So right now, I'm a career recruiter now. I'm actually at career recruiter course in Virginia, going through the course right now. So I'm at 8412, but before I did a lab move, I was a communicator. I was 0627 originally, and then when I picked up staff, I became an 0629 transmissions chief, and then I went on recruiting, and now I'm a career recruiter because I enjoy it, and I think it's a good time. So let's see. I want to join the Army. I just moved to here. I just moved to live in New York Tuesday. And I'm 18 plus, went to the Army a few months ago and explained my to. She said, no, I understand. So look, man, if you're over 18 and you want to join the military, go join the military. I mean, obviously it's great to have your parents support, influencers support and whatnot, but not everyone's always going to support you. Some people are going to tell you no, not to do it because oftentimes they're scared, they're misinformed, and they don't understand. But when they learn about it, they're actually informed, right? Then suddenly they're really interested. Now you should really do it. So every person I've talked to whose parents or influencers or boyfriends, girlfriends didn't want them to do it is because they were misinformed and they didn't know how the process worked or how it really was. Or they had a family member once upon a time who had a bad experience and they based every single decision off that one person's experience. And I'm like, look, man, every experience in the military will be different. You will have good times. You'll have bad times. You'll have good experiences. You'll have bad experiences. Like if I base me joining the military off one person's experience, which my mom told me explicitly, do not join. Do not join. I would not be here today. I would not be as successful as I am. I would not be as, in the position I am right now with my family, my kids, my lifestyle, where I'm at. I would have stayed home, would have went to school, would have stayed in my hometown, never moved out. And I look at some of the people that I grew up with that did just that. And I'm like, that's exactly what I didn't want to be, right? So you got to make a decision like, yeah, other people might not want you to do it, and I get it, but what do you want to do? Because you have to live that life. They've already lived their life, or they're living their own life, right? They're doing whatever it is they're doing. What do you want to do? Because what happens all the time is people don't do it based off external factors, right? Other people's influence. And then later on, when they're out of shape or too old or something happens, they have regrets. Every time they have regrets, man, I should have done that. I was going to be a Marine, but I was going to join the military, but, and I'm like, I wish I would have done it. Everyone that never did it, that wanted to, that I've ever talked to, always says, I wish I would have joined. I wish I would have done at least 4 years, got some experience, got some benefits and whatnot. They always say that. Now, is that always going to be true? Probably not. But the ones I've ran into, that's all they could talk about. And by that point, they're not qualified anymore, and it's sad. It really is. Because they're like, where would I be at now? What else could I have been doing, or, whatever the case is. So take that for what it's worth. But just keep in mind that you have to live that life. No one else can live it for you, and that's just a fact. So currently at my schoolhouse to be an ammo tech for the Marines. What are the odds I get sent overseas if we engage in Iran? Man, again, it depends on the unit you go to. There's a ton of non-deployable units in the military. It depends on where you end up, but Here's the thing, if we do end up engaging with Iran initially, they're going to send in infantry at first. They're probably going to send in MARSOCs and like special operations guys initially before they start sending in like the bulk of troops, right? So I think in the meantime, you probably have nothing to worry about. Again, that's just my opinion, my 2 cents, right? I'm not the one that dictates any of that, but just someone who's been in the military for 17 years and has deployed overseas many times. I've been there, done that. Not every unit deploys. Sometimes at the West Coast is only deploying. And then they rotate and they come back, then the East Coast deploys, right? So they're like on a rotation schedule, and I don't know who would be going first or how that would even work or what units or what's necessary. So a lot of unknown questions, but I wouldn't be worried about that just now. Just focus on getting through your school and graduating top of your class and then going from there. Don't worry about what if and things like that. So I told my son no. He's in boot camp right now. I'm glad into okay. So I love that. I'm glad I saw this question. So there is a commenter who says, I told my son no, not to do it, but he's in boot camp right now. I'm glad he didn't take my advice. I would love to hear your reasoning, because my mom was the same way. Why didn't you want him to go? And then what changed your mind? And then why now are you proud of him that he did go and didn't listen to you? Because that's a lot of times it's hard for parents and people to go back on what they say. So I'm just curious if you care to share. Just your thoughts about them in general. Do you think you can handle what they went through? I don't know what that means. I don't have any context for that. How's your hairline so good? Because my grandfather and my father had a great hair. Before my grandfather passed away, he still had a great hairline at the age of like 75. So yeah, I hope that mine stays this way forever. Because my dad's in his 60s, he still has a fantastic head of hair and a good hairline too. So I at least have 30 more years of good hair. So, but it's definitely genetics. It's genetics for sure. 8 years in and glad I'm staying until 20. Yeah, I was gonna do 4 and get out. That was my plan. And well, 17 years later, things changed because I realized that the Marine Corps is not that bad. It's a great opportunity. It gives me a lot of great skills and experiences, and I'm so glad I stayed in. My goal was never to do 20. I met guys like, I'm doing 20. That's it. That was never my goal, and it just ended up changing over time. So it's funny how things change and how things that you don't expect to happen end up happening over time. Let's see. It will be an air campaign. So, yeah. So I think right now, there's some B-52 bombers and there's some aircrafts that are over in the Middle East airspace. So I get ready to kind of go over there and do some reconnaissance. So yeah, I think if something does happen, it's definitely going to happen from an aerial perspective initially before they put any troops on the ground. That's just from what I've been seeing in the news and whatnot. I think it'll definitely start out like that. Will it eventually move to the ground? It depends on if that happens, what happens. Clearly, there's a lot of just unknowns right now, but I don't think there's going to be boots on the ground initially if something is to happen anytime soon. Someone once told me that they want 3-year contract in the Army. Yeah, so what's crazy is the Army actually has 3-year contract. I think they have a 2-year contract. They have 2, 3. They definitely have a 3-year and 4-year contracts. I think 5 and 6. So like 2 to 6 year contracts. But my thing is, why would you do a 2-year contract? Because by the time you get to your first duty station, you're already like 9 months into the military, and you're only going to be there for what, 13 months before you get out. By that point, you're just now getting started. You're just now like understanding the military, and that's like, okay, I'm getting out. I think 4 years is a good start. It gives you your first year-ish, right? Maybe a little less to go through school and like get through all your training. And then years 2 through 4, you're at your duty station, you're doing your job, you're deploying, you're learning how it is to be a soldier, Marine, airman, whatever. Like, you're actually doing the thing. And by that point, you're going to know, hey, I like this or I don't. You've had enough experience actually doing the job. Whereas 2 years is like, you just got started, man. Like, you just got started and now you're heading out. Not enough time, in my opinion, to actually have a good, well-rounded picture. But yeah, Army does some things like that. I'm not sure how common it is, but they definitely do that. Let's see. Nah, so I'm a recruiter, man. I'm not getting deployed. They don't deploy Marines on SDAs. Recruiters don't deploy. Drill sergeants don't deploy. Combat instructors don't deploy. MSG Marines, right? They don't deploy. Neither the security forces. Like, when you're on an SDA, that is your job for 3 years. When you get back to the fleet, when your SDA is up, at that point, yeah, if your unit deploys, sure, man, you're deploying. But while you're on this duty, recruiting specifically, World War III could break out tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere. My job is still to recruit until my time on recruiting comes to an end. Same thing for other recruiters as well. So, greetings from Croatia, from Luxembourg. Wow, Ukraine. We have people from all across the world on here, man. Damn. It's pretty awesome. This is a worldwide live chat right now. Damn. I just came to America from Ghana. You know what's crazy? I worked with a guy, Guyana, when I was a combat instructor. He was from Guyana. His name was Sergeant Fields. That guy was funny as hell. That guy was like a clown 24/7. I actually missed that dude. He was funny as hell. Finished school, but at GED, if I push, it can be done in 3 to 6 months. Yeah, so you can technically join the military with a GED. They will accept it, but they only accept so many because it's not a traditional education. But you can do it. So if you're working on your GED, I'll be honest, I knew a guy, no bullshit, he got a GED in 5 days. Like, I swear to God, he went to GED.com, and in 5 days, he got his GED. So you can do like pre-work. There's like work you do to then you test out the subjects. He took 5 tests in 5 days. You have to wait 24 hours after each test. And on the 5th day, he passed. And then that Monday, so like, you know, after the weekend, they sent him his GED. Hey, here's a PDF picture of your GED. We're gonna mail you the original one, you know, in the mail. But he had his GED in five days, man. So it is definitely possible to do it as long as you pass the test. If you don't pass the test, obviously you're not gonna give it to you, but it is absolutely possible to do that in the military. We'll take you with a GED most instances. So let's see. Good to see well-spoken, respectable people on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, so Island Girl, every generation in our family has served, including his father. I'm glad he's taken his own route, and hopefully he stays in. Not many good jobs for young adults in our area. Yeah, and I think the military, it's a good stepping stone because it gives you skills in a specific job that you can use when you get out, or if you don't do anything related to your job, and most when you get out, you still have all the attributes that come with being a Marine. Discipline, time management, leadership skills, right? A lot of the attributes and accolades that employers want. Like, hey, you are a Marine. I know you're dependable. I know you're reliable. I know you're honest. I know you're on time. I know you'll do the thing I need you to do, and you'll do it well compared to someone else who has no military experience, which, can they still do the thing and can they still do it well? Yeah, sure. But being in the military gives you a leg up on those that don't serve. So whether or not he, you know, uses his job skills outside of the military in that specific job, it's going to give him a leg up for the rest of his life. So it's always good to hear parents who were objectors at first come back around and be supporters, man. I love that. And I was living proof of that too. Again, mom did not want me to do it, but I ended up doing it anyways. And she became my biggest and best supporter for the entire time I've been in the Marine Corps. So let's see. Okay, so the main reason option, 26, 2 years after duty, 2 years, let's see. GEDs need waivers sometimes. It depends on the branch. I mean, every branch does things a little bit differently. So the Marine Corps can take GEDs, but 95% of the contracts that the Marine Corps has to be a tier 1 education, which is a high school diploma or above. GED is a tier 2, and they can only take a certain percentage of GEDs every single year. So can they do it? Yes. It just has to be verified and go through a different process. It's nothing that can't get approved unless they're below the threshold. It just takes an extra step, which isn't impossible. So I'm in Luxembourg. I'm pretty sure the total number of people in the armed forces is 900 people. So we're very thankful for you guys as our neighbors. Damn, the U.S. military, I think as a whole, has like over 1 million members in the entire military combined. Wow, compared to 900, that is, that's crazy. When you re-enlist for another 4 years, does your rank and pay go up? No, so just because you re-enlist does not mean you get a promotion. And then does your pay go up? So every 2 years in the military after your first 4, you get a pay increase. So so if you're a sergeant at 6 years and you're still a sergeant at 8 years, you're gonna get a pay increase at that 8-year mark just by being in that grade for a certain amount of time. So every 2 years after your first 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and beyond, all the way to 30, you're gonna get a notional pay increase. And for promotions, you have to get promoted. So you can re-enlist and be a sergeant, and re-enlist again and still be a sergeant, right? That re-enlistment does not mean you're gonna get, a promotion out of it. And you keep the same MOS, or does it change? Yeah, so if you re-enlist into the same MOS, you keep it. But you could, when you re-enlist, you can do what's called a lat move, which is you switching from one job to another. You can do that before you re-enlist too, as long as you have enough. Sorry, I drank a LaCroix earlier. I got some burps, excuse me. But you can do that, and you can lat move, but you have to have enough time on contract. So usually you do those things in conjunction if you want to switch jobs. If you don't want to switch jobs, you re-enlist in the same MOS, you can do it for 20 years, right? You can stay in it the whole time. It's completely up to you as the person in the job. Am I in the military? No. Yes. I'm a Marine. I'm in the military. Bro. Yeah, so is it okay to do an assistant job, like a tech or engineering job, and then transition to a combat field job? Because my family doesn't want me to be an infantry Marine. Because of the Trump situation, my mom is fragile. So, man, I get that all the time, dude. When we had George Bush, Obama, George Bush again, Joe Biden, Trump, no matter who's in the president's seat, there's always people who are not going to agree with the president. They're like, well, I'm not enlisting under this person. I'm not joining under this person, blah, 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 blah. And then the next person comes, well, I don't like this person either. I'm not going to do it. Can you switch jobs? Yeah. Can you start off in job A and then switch to job B? Of course, right? That's completely up to you and your situation. But I tell people, like, when it comes to the president, I'm like, here's the thing. Like, President Trump is the president of the United States. He's the commander-in-chief of the military. But on, like, the lowest level, he does not affect what we do every single day, right? And I tried to make this point a while back because people are like, does he control the military? Yeah, but there's like a dozen levels between us and him when it comes to things that we're gonna do. He doesn't affect what I do on a day-to-day basis, and people don't understand that all the time. So I try to explain that as best I can. So when they're like, well, I don't want to do this job because of who's in the presidency right now, I'm like, take that with a grain of salt. Because it's not always what it seems. So just take that for what it is. Hopefully that made sense, but let's see. But say we do GED and they score high on the ASVAB test, would that waiver that considered a second level education rule? So the tier 1, tier 2, don't worry about that. You can still enlist and have the same opportunities. The GED just allows you, the GED and high school diploma means you're eligible to enlist, right? That's like your golden ticket into the military, one or the other. Once you're eligible, now you have to take the ASVAB, right? So your ASVAB score is what's going to qualify you for jobs in the military, not your college degree, not your high school diploma or your GED, because you can enlist with either one of those things. So, but that's just like an entrance ticket, and then your ASVAB score is what's going to get you jobs and what's going to take you to where you want to be. So don't get caught up on the GED thing. Don't worry about that. So let's see, what about lifeguard at the second battalion pool guard? I don't know what that even means. Jumping jacks right now, I'll pay. No. How do I study for the mathematics knowledge? You go to join my Discord, you go to the ASVAB section, you download the free PDF book, and then you read it. And it's free. So you do that, that'll pass. That's how you study for it. And then if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. If not, use YouTube, whatever. There's plenty of free options out there. Buy the book. It's totally up to you. Just do the damn work. And if you don't, then you're never going to get better, and it is what it is, man. So tennis insights. Nice. I've seen that before. I saw that when the old man got asked that question on a live. That's pretty good. That's funny. That's pretty funny. My ASVAB test is on Tuesday. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. You're going to be fine. Just study. Go in there, take the test. Take your time. You'll be just fine. And then as you're taking the test, if you run out of time, right? If you run out of time in the section, because every section is timed, raise your hand. Let them know I ran out of time. They'll give you more time, and you can complete the test. So let's see. Be honest. How brutal is Marine Corps OCS? Almost out of college. So you know what's funny is I'm in Virginia right now, and I actually went to OCS over on Quantico the first weekend I was here, and we talked to one of the instructors. And OCS is tough, man. Like, it's not impossible, but it's tough. And the instructors that are there, like, they don't fuck around. They're gonna, you know, make sure you understand your roles and responsibilities as an officer, and you're gonna earn every single, you know, every single thing that you do there, because officers are held to a higher standard. So physically, officers are more fit on average. So like, they're gonna run, they're gonna PT you, right? They're gonna do that, and 99% of people are gonna keep up, right? Because you're more fit than most enlisted Marines, and that's expected. But it's the mental games. It's the mental games that get people every single time. So physically, you know, if you're thinking about officer, you probably already have the physical attributes that officers are looking for. So I wouldn't worry about that. But mentally, that is what's going to either make or break you there 100%. Same thing for enlisted too. Boot camp, the mental aspect, the games, the like just the unknown, that gets a lot of people. It's not the, oh, physical, man. Oh, physically, or we could do whatever we want. Physically, your body can do whatever it is that you tell it to do. Mentally, though, that's when it's like you have to have some like grit, and you have to have some just like some, okay, like I know this is temporary. I know this is gonna end. Like you have to have some self-awareness and just endurance, mental endurance, because it's gonna be tough as you're going through. So yeah, just prepare yourself, but don't overthink it, right? It's not impossible. There's thousands of officers that, you know, commission every single year. So it's not like the attrition rate is 90%, but it's not going to be easy, if that makes sense. Dude, you're getting some hate. Yeah, man, I love it, man. You know what's great? What I love about haters is that a hater is taking time out of their day right now to watch my live, take the time to comment, and I'm living rent-free in their head all the time, and I love it. Like, man, if I hate somebody, you know what I don't do? Engage with them. I don't talk to them. I don't watch their stuff at all. But I love haters because I'm like, damn, you're taking time to come on my live, watch what I'm saying, listen, comment on it, and continue commenting. And I'm like, you have nothing better to do? Like, hey, man, I appreciate it. You're helping, you know, boost my reach right now by participating. So I appreciate that. Thank you, haters out there. Trying to listen to the Marines. Do you have any tips for passing the ASVAB? Look, man, all right, a little PSA. If anyone's out there trying to pass the ASVAB, right, because I've answered this question a million times, number one, watch the videos on my YouTube channel, right? I made a handful of videos talking about the ASVAB specifically. Watch those, take that advice. Number two, go to my Discord. If you don't have it, download the app, it's free. Join my server. It's in my YouTube bio, my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio. Go to the Discord, join it. Go to the ASVAB section, download the free PDF book, join the chat, ask people questions, right? You know, mingle around and study. Do that, you will pass. Plain and simple. It's not that difficult. It just takes effort and a give a shit, period. You have some effort and to give a shit, you'll pass. You don't have any effort, you prioritize your phone, social media, anything else other than studying for the ASVAB, you will not pass, and it will never get any easier. You actually study, give a damn, phone off, computer off, watch off, distractions out, study for an hour a day, you're gonna pass. 100%, it's a fact. But if you don't do that, you're not gonna pass. So take that advice, do what I said, and you'll be okay. But there's no secret shortcut, there's no hack, there's no like easy way than putting in the effort to study what you need to know and doing the damn thing. If you do that, you'll be just fine. Guarantee it, 10 out of 10, it's a fact. So that's all I'm gonna say about the ASVAB going forward, because I answered the same question like 50 times. So, and listen with purpose too. Have a good listening skills to understand what I just said and go execute and you'll be all right. I'm drunk sitting on the floor eating pudding and I'm from Germany. That is an interesting way of life, but hey man, no hate man, good for you. What's a good Marine Corps infantry MOS? I want infantry, but at the same time, I don't want to die. Well, if dying is something you're concerned about, infantry is not the job that you should probably do, because that's the job where you're more likely over every other job to die than a non-infantry job. Now, just because you go on infantry doesn't mean you will die, obviously, but the imminent danger you're going to get put in the infantry, right, if you're deployed overseas, is far greater than a job that is non-infantry or non-combat related. So it just depends on you. So if that's something you're concerned about, man, I would just look at other options just to keep it real. All right. All right. Can I be a moderator? No, absolutely not. How many years have you been in? I've been in for 17 years, man. And I see that the chat's dying off. We've been on here for 79 minutes. Oh, man. I didn't realize. Oh, it's been so much. But before I hop off, man, hey, go ahead and drop some super chats in there. I had a goal that was up for 15 super chats. Doesn't look like it happened. But hey, if you guys want to support, go ahead and drop some super chats in there. And as always, man, I appreciate the support, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on here, asking questions, being part of the, you know, the lives and whatnot. It's always good to come on here and answer questions that I can, that aren't, you know, in videos or like on Instagram Live or Instagram Q&As and whatnot. So, but yeah, I think we're about to hop off in a second. So, but yeah, hey guys, I appreciate it. For those that donated and supported, man, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna go get myself a pizza. If you want to make any last minute ones, hey, I appreciate it. But if not, guys, hey, again, as always, I'll be on tomorrow. You know, answer some more questions, and you know, we'll go from there. So if you guys got nothing else, I got nothing else for you guys. It is 7:45. See you guys next time. Or not. How do I turn this off?